Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Lily's love story brewing new romantic direction after Chancellor failure. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers reveal that Lily Winters, Crystal Cowell, is throwing all her time and energy into an alliance that's only going to burn her in the end. Lily thinks she's got it all figured out and that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, will be the partner she needs to defeat Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, at Chancellor. Of course, there's no guarantee that Victor will even be successful in taking over Chancellor to make it part of the Newman empire. However, Lily certainly doesn't seem poised to get the CEO seat he wants if Victor indeed wins. Lily has made the mistake of trusting Victor, but family is always going to come first for him. That's why it's tough to believe Victor would ever throw out his plan to put Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, on the throne in the end. What happens when reality sets in and Lily realizes her dirty work has gotten her nowhere? Victor might offer Lily some measly consolation prize job at Chancellor or elsewhere at Newman, but she may tell him to shove it under the circumstances. Once this partnership blows up and Lily's a loser, the show can hopefully put her in a new storyline with a better outcome. Since Lily has been single for a while now, is a love story coming up next? The show tried to recreate the sparks of Lily and Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s Michael Graziadei, young love, but pairing them up all these years later didn't really work. The magic was gone, so that's probably why Y&R had Daniel cheat and reunite with Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, instead. It feels like the ship has sailed for Lily and Daniel, who's tangled up in Sharon Newman's Sharon Case story as a target anyway. Lily and Billy are enemies these days, so it's hard to imagine them getting back together anytime soon either. Perhaps what Lily needs is a brand new love interest, someone she doesn't already have a history with and someone who can propel her toward a bright future. Lily could escape all the past drama and truly move on with her life. There was a casting call for a handsome black male in the right age range for Lily a couple months back. There are also some signs that Nate Hastings, seen Dominic, might be getting a half-brother on his father's side, and if that's true, the new hunk won't be a blood relative of Lily's. Could this new character's debut lead to Lily finding real love? It would certainly be a better story than a fight for the Chancellor throne that Lily's destined to lose. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily will have to figure out what the future holds, so stick with us for more predictions on her next chapter and updates on any love life news. Lily Winters had always been a woman of resolve and ambition. From her earliest days in Genoa City, she had been more than just Neil Winters' daughter. She had fought to carve out her own identity, withstanding every storm that had come her way. And yet, even the strongest of us face moments of defeat. After the collapse of Chancellor Winters' latest business venture, Lily found herself at a crossroads, struggling to make sense of her professional failures. But as they say, when one door closes, another one opens, and in Lily's case, it might just be the door to her heart. Picking up the pieces. The Chancellor-Winters merger had seemed like the opportunity of a lifetime for Lily. She'd poured her heart and soul into making it work, forming alliances with Devon, trying to prove herself as a business powerhouse in Genoa City. But corporate backstabbing, clashing egos, and relentless competition had taken their toll. The company's latest failure left Lily shaken. The cracks in her partnership with Devon, her half-brother, had only widened and the stress of holding it all together was suffocating. However, where Lily was faltering in the boardroom, a new path was forming in her personal life. Unbeknownst to her, fate was preparing to send her in a different direction, one that would force her to reckon with her emotions and the possibility of a new romance. A familiar face, a new connection. Enter Daniel Romalotti. Daniel, once a major part of Lily's past, had returned to Genoa City following his own string of personal crises. His artistic career had faced setbacks, and his estranged relationship with his daughter, Lucy, had weighed heavily on his mind. But despite the shadows hanging over his life, Daniel had an uncanny ability to bring light to others. When he and Lily crossed paths again, it was like no time had passed. The familiar spark between them reignited, but it wasn't the carefree connection they'd had as young lovers. This time, there was depth, understanding, and shared pain. Daniel had also experienced professional failure and personal heartbreak, and he understood better than anyone what Lily was going through. In their conversations, he offered more than sympathy, he offered perspective. He encouraged her not to view the failure of Chancellor Winters as the end but as a pivot point for something new. And as Daniel spoke, Lily found herself drawn to him in ways she hadn't expected. The comfort of his presence, the wisdom he'd gained from his own struggles, it all began to feel like exactly what Lily needed. A friendship turning into romance. As the weeks passed, Lily and Daniel spent more time together. At first, their bond seemed purely platonic. They'd meet for coffee to vent about their respective troubles, or they'd take walks around Chancellor Park, reflecting on how far they'd both come since their younger days. But there was something simmering just beneath the surface, and everyone around them could see it, even if Lily and Daniel were trying to deny it. Devon, in particular, noticed the change in his sister. Despite their business clashes, Devon still cared deeply for Lily, and he wasn't entirely sure how he felt about Daniel re-entering her life in such a significant way. He warned Lily to be cautious, reminding her of how their past with Daniel hadn't always been smooth. But Lily was quick to defend her growing connection with him, asserting that they were different people now, and whatever happened in the past was behind them. Yet Devon's concerns weren't entirely baseless. The history between Lily and Daniel was complicated, marked by moments of passion, betrayal, and heartbreak. But it was also a foundation of trust and understanding. The question was whether they could navigate the tricky waters of rekindling an old flame without being burned by the ghosts of their past. Billy's shadow lurking. As if Lily's emotional journey wasn't complicated enough, Billy Abbott remained a lingering figure in the background. Though their relationship had ended, it hadn't fully closed the door on their connection. Billy, dealing with his own set of personal challenges, still harbored feelings for Lily, even if he couldn't admit it outright. He had always been someone who struggled to make up his mind, constantly torn between his reckless side and his desire to be a better man. When Billy learned about Lily and Daniel's growing bond, it stirred something inside him. Despite moving on in his own complicated way, seeing Lily with someone else made him realize that perhaps he hadn't truly let her go. Billy found himself torn between wanting to support Lily in her newfound happiness and grappling with his unresolved feelings. This internal conflict would undoubtedly create tension. While Lily and Daniel were just beginning to explore their renewed connection, Billy's presence threatened to upend everything. He'd always had a knack for making situations messier than they needed to be, and this time would likely be no different. The road ahead for Lily Winters, the road ahead was filled with uncertainty. After the failure of Chancellor Winters, she was determined to rebuild, both in her professional and personal life. But as she navigated these new waters, the question remained. Could she allow herself to embrace love again, especially with someone like Daniel who had hurt her before? The potential for a fresh start with Daniel was both thrilling and terrifying. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and their shared history gave them a deep understanding of each other. But Lily had been burned by love before, by Cain, by Billy, and even by Daniel. She wasn't sure if she was ready to open her heart again, especially when so much of her focus had been on fixing her career. Still, there was something about Daniel that felt different this time. He wasn't the same reckless, impulsive man she had once known. He was older, wiser, and like her, had faced his share of failures. And maybe, just maybe, they could help each other find their way forward. In the coming weeks, fans of The Young and the Restless can expect to see Lily torn between her head and her heart. Will she give in to her feelings for Daniel, or will her fear of repeating past mistakes keep her from taking that leap? Either way, Lily's journey is far from over, and it's one that will surely keep viewers on the edge of their seats.